us peace in the trouble we struggle, He's there for us. God is a Father who loves us, a friend when we need Him. Our God is a friend we can trust. God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, He's there for us. God is a Father who loves us, a friend when we need Him. Our God is a friend we can trust. Our God is a friend we can trust. Our God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend we can trust. We've all been let down, we've all had a storm. Everybody's had some hard times. If you're hurting now, if the thunder's loud, and need a friend who sticks by your side. You've got a friend who'll always be with you, calming the winds and the rain. We've all been let down, we've all had a storm, but only one friend is the way. God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, He's there for us. God is a Father who loves us, a friend when we need Him. Our God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend we can trust. God is
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good News Sunday morning worship service. We had a delightful week at Vacation Bible School, and we are going to let you share in a lot of the things that the kids learned this week. One note to take in mind, in the back is a shark, and every day the kids put money in that shark, and they have earned 3 goats for Nepal. If you would like to help feed the shark and get another goat, feel free to do so. Many thanks for all your prayers for the week, for your donations, for Stretch the Budget, and for sending your children. It was a wonderful week. Other things going on at Good News in the coming future, June 17th will be a ministry network meeting. There will be more instructions, and we would love to have lots of you ministry leaders here. It starts at 6 p.m. and there will be pizza. On Sunday, June 23rd, after the worship service, we will have a church potluck, no meeting, no anything else, just a wonderful opportunity for fellowship and food together. So put that on your calendar and prepare for that. The survey for ministry I can never remember what it all stands for, MIT, is in the back. You may have gotten a survey in the mail. Please take the opportunity to fill it out and get it back to the church. And do be praying for our elders and our leaders as we make decisions on what next. Thank you for joining us today, and enjoy the service.
Today. We are excited to showcase what we did this week. On Friday, we had just about 90 kids up here with a lot of community parents here, and we are smaller today, but if you could give them a round of applause, because during those announcements, weren't they great? Good job, you guys. So we're asking them to shine their light and be brave today in their group as we sing these songs. So.
When they roar, so fun to ride up to the shore. Thanks God, all the wonders under the deep, down to the bottom where I'll never reach. Thanks God, oh that you love me, I'm so amazed, makes me want to say thanks God for all the good things you do. Thanks God, you're my truth. Thanks God for the good things you made. Thanks God for this heart that was saved. Thanks God into your love. Watch me here I come. I'm diving into your love. Watch me here I come. Thanks God for all the good things you do. Thanks God, you're my light and my truth. Oh, you are. Thank God for the good things you made. Thanks God for this heart that was saved. Thanks God.
Every day we would start our morning at game time doing what's called spotlight drama. And we would take the story for the day, we would pose the kids, take pictures of them, and then we would put it into a drama to show at the end of the day. And they didn't know what story they were doing because they hadn't been to story time yet. So we are going to do day 4 on the day when Jesus died and rose again. Okay, you can watch.
Jesus is God's Son. He came to earth to live as a person, and he never did anything wrong. But one day, soldiers arrested Jesus. Leaders put him on trial. People whipped Jesus with a sharp whip and put a crown of thorns on his head. Even though Jesus hadn't done anything wrong, the people shouted to kill him. They nailed Jesus to a cross. People made a sign to make fun of Jesus for calling himself the King of the Jews, but Jesus really is a king. People gambled to keep Jesus' clothes. After hanging on the cross, suffering in pain, Jesus died. They took him down from the cross, and a man put Jesus in a tomb. Jesus' friends felt so sad. 3 long days later, his friend Mary Magdalene came to put some spices on his body. But the stone covering the tomb had been moved, and Jesus' body was gone. Mary ran to find more of Jesus' friends. What happened to Jesus' body? Finally, they realized no person had moved Jesus' body. Jesus is alive. Even though Jesus never did anything wrong, not even little things, people treated him like a criminal. Jesus took the punishment for all the things we do wrong. And when Jesus came back to life, he showed that he was stronger than death and sin. He beat them forever. Now we can live in heaven with God. And God is a friend forever.
So we're going to sing now, Count Your Blessings.
When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed,
One of the things we like to do at Bible school every day is to teach the kids a Bible point. It's one simple little point that we want them to go home with. They have Bible time, they have game time, they have snack time, they have craft time. They go to different stations and each one, and snack time, each one reinforces that point. So when they go home, even if they don't remember everything that happened, they remember something that is true about God, and we love that. So we hear them quite often afterwards. So we're going to go through what our Bible points were this week. So on Monday,
our memory buddy, Tad the Frog Fish, reminds us that God is a friend who's real. Our memory verses, we believe and we know you are the Holy One of God. John 6:69.
On Tuesday, our memory buddy was Finley. The dolphin reminds us that God is a friend who loves. Thanks, God. Our memory verse was, just as I loved you, you should love each other. John 13:34.
On Wednesday, our memory buddy Fisher, the seal, reminds us that God is a friend we can trust. Our memory verse was, I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. John 14:27.
All week we were trying to teach the kids that we were diving into friendship with God. How do we have a friendship with God? What does that look like? So we are going to sing right now, I Have a Friend, because we found a lot of friends, found a friend in Jesus this week. I'll stay by you here. So now we're going to look at our Bible point for day 4 on Thursday.
On Thursday, our memory buddy Waylon reminds us that God is a friend forever. Our memory verse, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live. John 11:25.
Our memory buddy for Friday, Octavia, reminds us that God is a friend for everyone. Our memory verse is, for this is how God loved the world. He gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. John 3:16.
So that recaps our Bible points and our memory verses for the week. We're going to have you guys go sit down now with your parents. If somebody needs to stand up so they can see where you are, that will be helpful too. Okay, let's come down here. Yep, I'll find them. Here's your glasses. There you go. You'll find them. She'll find them for you. Now I'd like to see if Gary and Marie Harrison could come up and talk to us about our missionary offering that we had this week.
Thank you, Sue. My able partner decided to let me do this solo. We had a very special missionary offering this week. In Japan, doing church is very, very hard. And the average Japanese church is about 30 people, give or take, sometimes smaller. And we've been working with a church over there, Tamagawa Christian Church, pastored by Pastor Makoto Fukui. And they have created a thing called Hope and Faith International so that they can really do things even beyond their size. It's an amazing church. And they've done mission work in Nepal and in the Philippines. And we decided to partner with them this week as they have been involved in providing material aid to the poor people in the hill country of Nepal. And they do it for two reasons. First of all, let me just give you his words on what the Lend a Goat program was. It's a 3-year farming project in Nepal, and the first 3 years have been completed. Each year, we receive $6,700 from the Ashni, and it's returned to HFI, Hope and Faith International. The more goats they breed, the more profit the farmer makes. The returned goats are then used on HFI's farm to either increase the number of goats to be used for the next goat loan or sold to create a fund. The fund will be used to support children's schooling and microloans. They do this not only to help the families, because it's a poor area and the dads have to leave to find work, sometimes even leaving the country, leaving mom and the kids alone. And that's bad. But even more importantly, you can't share the gospel in Nepal. If I tell you about Jesus uninvited, I could go to prison for 2 years. But if you ask me about him, I can talk to you about him. And so our kids have been investing in gospel goats with the idea of presenting the goats to the farmers. And when the farmers go, "Why are you guys doing this?" It gives Fukui and the others a chance to say, "We love you, and we want to tell you about Jesus." And if they're open to it, they get to do that. Now, Jane, I don't often disagree with you, but I'm going to have to disagree with you this morning because you saw the timeline over there, and we had a timeline of up to $650 through the VBS offering, which would acquire 3 goats. But you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goats. At $200 a goat, our VBS kids and parents raised $1,639. Woo! So I want to say a big thanks to the kids and a big thanks to the parents. And I got a note from Makoto and the staff at HFI, and they add a heartfelt thanks for what you're doing for the kids and the families in Nepal. You know, if we had just 2 more goats, we'd be off that wall. And I'm just mentioning that, so.
I think one of the things that really got to the kids is when we told them that when they have a goat, their dads have to either leave the area or leave the country and do migrant work and send money home to their families to survive. That means that the mothers have to work very hard, and physically it's very hard on the families. So if we can provide a goat, they can start a herd, they can have an income, and dad can be with the family. So we helped keep 8 families together, which really resonated with the hearts of the kids. And I think this is the most we've ever brought in for the week of VBS for our offering. So we're just so grateful for everybody getting on board with that. So I'm going to have Scott come up. One of the things that we do, and we've done it at our church here, we have our God sighting tree. We try to teach the kids that God is working all around us. There is this network of things that he is bringing together for his good purpose, and we don't see that. Sometimes because we don't pay attention, sometimes we just don't see it until it happens. But when God does something special in our lives and he's brought things together to make that happen, that's a God sighting, and we love that. So I want Scott to share a little bit about what we did this week.
It's been really cool to see through the years how the kids have really gravitated toward this God sighting process. And some of the God sightings that they write down are just amazing and so insightful and so deep, personal. So I'm going to read just a few that we took off the board here. You should take a look at them after church because they're pretty amazing. One of them is the kind lady's making us cookies. So that was a pretty good one. This one says, my grandpa took me fishing before he died. He's in heaven with God. Recognized what a blessing that was. God was watching over me during the tornado on the road. My crew leader was really, really nice. He's the best. My dad couldn't see the road while it was raining. I prayed and it stopped. I found a new friend at VBS. I think that happens a lot more than just this one student. And the last one I have is, Scuba Bob said good morning to me. I think Scuba Bob said good morning to everybody, but that was pretty amazing. My own God sightings, and I saw a lot this week. One of them was that there are so many grandparents here that have had their kids come through this VBS program, and now they're bringing their grandchildren here, and I know how hard that can be. We had our son Eli here for the week, all by ourselves, and it was pretty amazing. He was a lot of fun. Cheryl and I would both come in to kind of get ready. I get the video set up. Cheryl gets the registration area set up. And so Elijah would have to come with us. And so I like to go through and just pray over the rooms in the morning right away. And he wanted to come with me, and he would be praying over the rooms with me, which was the coolest thing ever. So I guess that's about all I had for this morning.
Sometimes we get God sightings back afterwards. I think it was last year. One of the little boys thought there was a God sighting because he was biking and fell off his bike, and the neighbor came out. I can't even remember what the Bible point was now. Shame on me, but he said the Bible point. That God was watching over him, and they remember those. So it's like we love sending them home with some truth that they can hang on to. We don't usually do this. I just have to tell you, there are so many people that love on the kids in our church and in our community. And I just wanted to be able to say thank you to all of you, because they say I'm the face of VBS, and I don't like that in the fact that I love doing this. This is something that's easy for me. Most of it, some of it is hard, some of it isn't so fun, but this is how God wired me, and I love to do it. But when I watch people that aren't wired in that way, and they're like, whatever you need me to do, or you can see them coming and doing something that I know is hard for them, but they're giving everything, I can't help but think that God doesn't look at their heart. And his smile is just a little bigger than what mine is, because mine is easier for me to do, and they're giving everything. And I love that God moves the hearts of the people here, because we couldn't do it without everybody on board. And we're getting old. Sometimes, although this week when we were introducing our grandkids, we were calling them our kids, and it was like, I don't know if we're trying to go backwards or what, but it was just a really good week partnering with everybody. And I want to go through and talk about some of the people that were helping, because you don't see that. You just come and you see the hoopla at the end. First of all, Jerry Sinkoffer. Is Jerry here today? I don't know if Jerry is here today. Jerry is responsible for all of this. All of this. Her and Jennifer Arstead, Jennifer I know put at least 40 hours into it. I think Jerry probably even more. They started early. They took this all off of our plate. They just did it. Jerry also brought a bunch of visuals for the hallways in that inn, and she told me she had them and she put them in the storage room, and I'm like, oh good, that's nice, that'll be helpful. And when I went to put them up, I didn't realize how many she did. She just pours her heart into that because she loves to be able to do that, and that's just big. We share this with, I think this year it's going to 3 other churches, plus there are a few people, there was a teacher and an individual that asked if they could have some of the things afterwards in things that they're doing. So we just love that we can do all of this and have it pass on in other ministry and other ways with other people. So that makes me feel really good. Our crew leaders, you guys, I have to tell you this year, our adult crew leaders were amazing. They did whatever we asked them to do. But we had teens here. I just can't even believe they just kept coming out of the woodwork. We would have 2, sometimes 3 in a crew because they just were bringing their friends or whatever. And I think it's a big shout out to Marcus and Mikkel. They have built up that youth group, and those kids have been coming, and they wanted to help. That first week out of school, when they should have wanted to sleep in, they come to VBS and travel throughout the morning with those kids. We have some of our young men, our older youth group leaders. Pastor Marcus talked to them, and they usually do games. And he said, boys, I think you need to be crew leaders this year because these kids need to be mentored. They need big kids that are going with them and believing in them and helping them to see that it is good to follow Jesus. And they did. One of our crew leaders had 2 little girls and 2 little boys, and it was so fun watching them because sometimes you'd look at their face and it was like, dear Lord, help me. And other times they were just engaged and doing amazing with those kids. So I just appreciated all of our crew leaders. I have to tell you, we have a lot that come to youth group that are not followers of Jesus. They do not know what that means. When we go through our training, we talked about this year about what it means to be a friend of Jesus. We went through what Jesus did. If you're going to be a friend of God, the only way is believing what Jesus did on the cross so that our sins could be reconciled, so that they could be washed away, and we could have a chance to come into the very presence of God. We talked about it over and over throughout the week. You guys, it's like so many people say, I don't like what you believe because I think there's lots of ways to get to Jesus. And we would just say, why? If there are lots of ways to get to Jesus, why would the creator of this universe have his son, who had never been separate from him, come down to earth to go through what he did for us? When Jesus prayed that prayer and said, Father, is there any other way? Why wouldn't the Father have said, oh yeah, there's lots of ways to get here? We talked to the kids about when you follow Jesus, he promises that he will go and prepare a place for you. A place where there's no more sadness, no more sickness, no more tears, no more hurt. And what if you said, I hope I get to heaven, I hope I've been good enough? You won't make it. When you get there, he will say, I'm sorry, I didn't know you. Because it's not about what we do. We keep trying to be good enough, and he's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do. You are sinners, you are born sinners, and you cannot deal with that sin in your life. You need a Savior, and that is his Son. So we keep trying to get that message through adults that may come in to help that don't know the Lord, our teens that come in that don't know the Lord, the kids that come. Our ministry just encompasses them all, and we love that we have the opportunity to do that. So I just want to thank our crew leaders. It's not always an easy job. We have a crew leader coordinator, Vicki Kowalczyk. Every day she fills 30 bags with what they need for the day. At the end of Monday, she takes everything out and puts everything they need in for Tuesday throughout the week. She is there if we give her something last minute to make sure she gets it to the crews. She's been doing that for years, and she just takes care of that for us. Registration, we have Tess Waller and Cheryl Sinkhofer that man our registration table. Tess takes all of the registrations as they come in. She puts the kids into groups and then into smaller crews within those groups, and she assigns crew leaders to that. And then she sends us the list and say, look it over and see what you think. And I'm like, yep, looks great. Because that is not my area, that is her area, and she does it so well. She prepared that, came Monday, and Monday night she ended up going to the hospital and was in the hospital for the week. So she had us set up well, but we freaked out just a little bit because we always depend on her through the week. But Cheryl Sinkoffer, you stepped up, you took over, you became Tess for the week, you deciphered all of her notes, you kept us going, and I just appreciate that so much. So that worked really good. And Tess is doing better, I've heard, yes. So that's really good. We're so glad to hear that. Our nursery, if anybody wants to tell me I will do anything you need, it might be the nursery. And everybody is afraid of that. So it's like, I just want you to know that we had 3 different people throughout the week that came in. Mallory Deckman was one. We had Jordan, I'm trying to think of her last name, Ingram, came in one day. She doesn't come to church here, but she had a little girl that came, so she loves to be a part of it. And I think the 3rd day was Bronwyn Whiskey, who also doesn't go to church here, but we're kind of a home church of hers, and she came in to help us out whenever we needed her. So, and Taylor Van Aert and Hattie Erdman, 2 of the little kids that came on last, consented to be in the nursery, and they're in there for 3+ hours for 5 days in a row. It is not an easy job, but they did a great, great job with those little kids. Scott asked me not to mention him, Scott Sinkoffer, but he came to all the work days, and I found if you make cookies, he will come. We kept him well fed. So he would come to the work days and do the things that were hard for us to do. As a matter of fact, you see the little scuba or the little submarine out there because of him. He did a lot of work on it. When we got the windows done, it's like, I don't think I need to do the sub. It looks fine like that. And then I thought, Scott will kill me. He's put so much time into that. So he does our media. He has been such a servant. If I say, I'm going to go get this, he's like, I've got it. And he was gone to do it. So I appreciate that so much. The Van Aert family was here this week. Mandy led our opening and our closing, and she is just such a natural, God-gifted person to work with our kids. Her son Colton was here. He did games and he did the skit. It's so fun to see these kids grow up. He worked at the ski hill last year, and when I met with him to go over the games, he said, I can't wait to put some of the things I've learned in working with kids to use out at game time. So we had 7 boys out there that helped, and they were an amazing crew. 2 were new 7th graders, and we were just so proud of them that they did a good job out there. Willie Litke headed up that area, which he is just so good at that too. Our elementary crafts, I have to tell you a little story because several years ago, Lana, who heads up the crafts, came to me and she said, Sue, you can't do all of this. You have to find somebody to do the crafts. You can't do that too. And I said, well, tell me who I should contact, because I've contacted just about everybody. And she said, we've got to get some of the younger ones involved. And I'm like, okay, give me some names and I'll call them. She came back and she said, I'll do it. And she has done it ever since, and she's brought in her crew of ladies that work with her that just have it like a fine run machine. Our publisher doesn't do crafts anymore, so we have to come up with our own ideas. So we do crafts on Tuesday and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do what's called Imagination Station, and that's science-y fun gizmos. It's kind of showcasing the God that we serve and how intricately everything is made, and we pull it into our Bible point. And Judy Spink, and you know, Judy is one you see doing everything. And when I asked her if she would do Imagination Station, she was only here Monday and Wednesday, and she said, I will do whatever you need. And I know that meant, oh, crap. But yes, I'll do it, because it was one more thing to have to prepare for. We had Friday open. Wendy Heckendorf was part of the craft team, and I asked Wendy if she would do it, and she said, yes, I will do that. And then when I talked to her the next time, she said, Bart doesn't know it, but he's teaching it. And I have to tell you, I got so many good reports about Bart. So it's like, he's in deep trouble now, because it's like, we know he can do this. So He's on our radar. The preschool crafts, we had Joey McAllister and Ginny Kabansky, and they did really good. I'll tell you what, kids can be tough today. It's part of the reason we do this. We have some kids that are all over the place. I've taken a few kids out and I've said, can you look at me? And they're like all over like, yes, yes. And you can tell it's just a hard thing to do to focus in. And we had several kids like that our crew leaders were in charge of. And it just makes it hard. I've been pulled into a few rooms this week to say, can you come in and sit with kids because we're having a hard time. And as we've worked with them throughout the week, you saw every day they got better and better, and they started, we could talk to them, and they focused and came in. So we're so grateful to be a part of being able to work with kids that sometimes just can't get it because their mind is just all over the place. So that's been a blessing too. So even in crafts, that's a little bit not as structured, it can be hard, and they did a good job. Our snack leaders, Bobby Schilt, Betsy, Naran, they do such a good job all of the time. They are so faithful, and they have it down to an art. I mean, we don't mess with the kitchen. They've got this down. Jane Kalstead came in and filled in this week and worked really hard in there. And we had a young girl that came to training. Her name was Peyton. I think she's 7th or 8th grade. And I asked her what age group she'd like to work with as a crew leader. And she said, I don't really do kids, but I like to work in the kitchen. And I hear that from a lot of adults too, so it wasn't real surprising. But so we put her in the kitchen, and the first day we said, take the preschool crafts down, clean up afterwards, bring them back. And I went in there and she said, I am not keeping busy. I am not enjoying this. So I think the kitchen put her to work, and I went in there and she was just a powerhouse, just working away. So she found her spot and just really loved it. So we really appreciate that. The Bible time, I'm going to come back to McCall. Hannah Zebro was in our preschool Bible time. And when you have little kids, to try to teach them a Bible story, it's easier to teach them the concepts. God loves you. God cares about you. He created you. You are special. When you're trying to do a story, it's a little harder to keep them. I had contacted all of the station leaders before and just sent a memo out, and she texted back and said, Sue, I haven't even looked at the material yet. She was working full time. It was like the end of the school year. And your heart just goes out to them because it's like, I know this was a lot that I asked you to do. But the day before on Tuesday, we have a small group that gets together to pray every week. And Lori Kilsdonk is a part of that. And when we got together, she said, Sue, can we do a walkthrough of the building and just pray over each of the rooms and the teachers? And so we did that. So when Hannah sent that respond back, I was able to say, you've got this, Hannah. We have prayed for your room. We have prayed for your kids. We have prayed for you. God is faithful. He will see you through. And she did a great job. So we are just so grateful. It's how God pulls people together at the right times for his purpose. Sticky scripture. We had our first youth teacher this year. Addie Waller taught sticky scripture for the preschool. And that's teaching the Bible verse, giving the memory buddies, doing a little experiment with them. And we had an adult in there with her just because we felt like we needed crowd control maybe a little bit for her, but she just rocked it. She did so good with those kids, and she was dealing with her mom in the hospital, which we knew when she came in, we didn't even want to look at her because we knew she was going to cry. And she did so good. So it's so fun to see that we can build up leaders that can carry on when they get planted in their church as they grow older and just be able to lead ministry. So that was really good. Imagination Station, I did go over that one, I'm sorry. Our office crew, no matter what they're doing, they're always willing to stop and to be support for us for whatever we need. I love that. Gary brought us the mission focus this year, which was really helpful because we were having a hard time deciding what our mission should be this year. Support crew, we had Dan Harper here all week. Dan Thompson did our sound all week. Eva was here praying. You guys, we have people praying the halls during Bible school. We have people coming early and praying the halls. We have a board up in the prayer room, and they come every day and say, what do you need prayer for today? And we just have people in the wings all over supporting this ministry. And we can't do it without it. We can do a program. We can't do a ministry. When you have that kind of prayer support, it's like God shows up, and it is amazing what you see. Daryl Kalstead, he was here on work days. He was here throughout the week. People came. We had people that just came and said, I'll come when I'm available. If you need to plug me in, put me in. So that was really fun. Wednesdays for like 6 weeks, we had people come and we prepared all of the needs for the station leaders so they don't have to put all of this stuff together. We prepared some of the snacks. We prepared some of the decorations. They just came and I would have it laid out what they needed to do and they would do it. Some of it they could take home and cut themselves, but there was community that happened when we got together and did that, and it was really a special time. We have the people that are praying outside. We have people that have donated to stretch the budget so that we could do more with our food stuff. We're doing bottled water this year, and it's amazing how much of the budget it takes for bottled water. It would have drove Tom nuts because he's like, turn on the faucet. So anyways, but all of those things, I just don't know who wasn't involved with this project this year. So it was just really fun. But what I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit about how we saw God show up this week. I mean, we just had God sightings all over the place, but Mikkel taught Bible time. And I got so much feedback from her that she did such a good job in being able to present the lesson. She pulled in some life experiences that she had. Those kids that were squirrely everywhere they went, they were good for her. They just were tuned in and they were listening. And that was, I mean, I didn't know that early in the week. She was here through Thursday, and then they left on vacation. Thursday is the day where we talk to them about how they can become a friend of Jesus. It's our day that we just build this whole thing for so that we can share this with the kids. She came out Thursday before she left with a big list. And she said, Sue, she said, when I talked to them about praying to follow Jesus, just about every child in the room wanted to. She said, I've never seen this before. They were tuned in. They had good questions. They're like, what does it mean to follow Jesus? One of the little boys said, I have a hard home life like you had. They resonated with what she was sharing with them about the faithfulness of God and how when He's there with you, you're never alone. He's there to help you. I just couldn't believe that. I mean, usually we pull out the few kids that pray that they want to follow Jesus, but this was like the ones that didn't go out were the ones that have done it before, and it was just unbelievably amazing. I was supposed to teach on Friday, and I went into the kids and I said, okay, Miss Mikkel was here for 4 weeks. She had the story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal. She had Jonah and the whale. She had the disciples being caught in the storm. She had Jesus dying and coming back to life. And I have Lydia. And there's only 2 verses in the Bible about Lydia. So I am like, how am I going to teach this lesson about Lydia for 25 minutes? But because of where those kids were at, I got to spend that time talking to them about following Jesus, what that looked like, what that meant, the decision that was. That's not something we take lightly. When you decide to follow Jesus, you are setting aside the course that you maybe were on. Who are you following? Are you following the people that you see singing a song on your phone, or are you following somebody that you're watching in a show that you love and you think, I want to be so cool like that, and they're maybe mean? We talk to them about when you decide to follow Jesus, you become a new person. Addie Waller gave me a wristband, and it says, not what we were. And it's a saying from The Chosen. It's like, when you decide to follow Jesus, you become a new creature. He has created you new. It's like you get a remake. You get to start over. You're not what you were. You are now in Him, His son or daughter, and He is there to help you. And how beautiful that is. If you're bad at sports and you have kids tease you because of that, if you've been a bully, if you have been terribly disrespectful to your mom or dad, whatever you have done, today is a new day. You can start over. If somebody teases you, I don't want you on my team, you stink as a ball player, you can say, yeah, I do stink, but you know who I am? I'm a child of the King. And God can instill in you, sports isn't the most important thing. There are things that are more important, but that has to come from within. That doesn't come from outside. And God can whisper those thoughts into your heart when you need them. So we just really try to encourage the kids what this looks like and that it's hard. I brought in different Bibles and I said, you guys, if you're going to have a friendship with God, you need to know who he is. You need to know his story. When I first started studying the Bible, and I can't tell you how old I was probably pretty old. I would read, or I'd do a Bible study in Genesis with somebody and think, oh my, that's so cool that God created the world and he made man and all of that. And then we'd do Psalms and it was like, oh, they're like poems. They're beautiful and so encouraging and really to the heart of things. And then we'd do like the book of John. And I'm like, that was one of Jesus's disciples. But I never put it together that this is God's story. This is from when he started right up until he creates a new heaven and a new earth at the end. And I said, you guys, if you don't know that story, you don't know the faithfulness of God. Our Bibles are full of faithfulness of God throughout the ages, how he dealt with his people. You think God isn't real, you look back and you see the prophecies and you see that they came true. You see how he fought battles for them. He was faithful. And we need to just be able to see that for ourselves in his word. I have a 9-year-old grandson. My daughter reads through the Bible with people on her blog, and he decided he wanted to get up in the morning with her and read through the Bible. So he bought, well, not one of ours, but we have the same Bible. It's a coloring Bible. And he started coming down with her in the morning, and he would read a story, and then he would read another story, and he read through the Bible. And he was so proud of himself. So he took the Action Bible, and then he read through the Action Bible. And now he has a big boy Bible, and he's 10, and he's starting to read through that. So I told him, I said, you know what? When I hold up my big Bible, everybody goes, oh. And you can't read the big Bible like I read it, but you can start to get the story in the other Bibles. And if you're going to know Jesus, you have to read his story to find out who he is. So we just keep trying to encourage those kids. One of the things that we did this year, we like to have them have some kind of a reminder that they take home. Something that reminds them of who they are and who they've made a commitment to be following Jesus. So this year what we decided to do is we told them a story. And this was given to me by a neighbor of mine. When Tom passed away, she had this made, and it says Tom Young, 1949 to 2021. But between those numbers, there's a little tiny dash. And it's like that dash stands for the life that we have lived. It's not so important what day we were born or what day we died, but what did we do with the life that God gave us? That's what matters. So we decided that we were going to make dash necklaces. We let the kids put together the ball chains, and then we had different dashes that they could thread on them, and they could take it home. They could make it into a necklace, a bracelet, a keychain, whatever they wanted. But that's a reminder, you guys, when you look at that, what are you doing with the life God gave you? Are you giving him any attention, or are you just saying, yeah, I want to follow him, but go back to life as usual, because life should look different. And this can be a reminder to them. So the journey, you know, some of them get nothing at home, some of them get good training at home. I think in this day and age, we probably do a poorer job than a better job of spending time teaching them about God and about the Word of God. And it's just a reminder to me when I go through this, I need to step it up with my grands. As they get older, it gets harder to find that common ground. How can I do this and encourage them in their walk at this age? I just think that, you know, we just need to keep praying for those opportunities, for those God sightings, when God opens up a little bit of time when we can talk to them and be able to share that. So we have just had a great week. It's been amazing. Right now we're trying to figure out with all of those kids that made that commitment that they wanted to follow Jesus, how do we follow up with that? Because they need follow-up. They need encouragement. And so just be praying as we try to figure that out. Also in the future, I mean, in some of the centers that we've had, you guys, it is getting harder for some of our people to be able to do what we ask them to do. So pray that God leads us as to what children's ministry is going to look like in the future. Do we have to change it to fit what our society is doing right now, or how they are taking in information, or God has to orchestrate that for us, because it's kind of hard to know in this venue how much longer we can do this unless things really change. But for right now, I just have to tell you, we serve a faithful God, and He provides what we need, and I am so grateful for that. So, thank you. We're going to end with a... oh, yeah, I didn't bring cookies.
I know, Sue, that you don't like the attention put on yourself, and you've said that a number of times this week. And if it wasn't for your vision and for your heart for kids and adults, none of this would happen. You've put a wonderful, fantastic team around you that can support and help you. And if it wasn't, well, let me say this differently. You were the person that kind of holds it all together. You're the go-to. You're the one that's running around like a crazy person during the week. Sue, 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 Sue. And you must have that. It's kind of like our grandson. It's kind of like our grandson. Grandpa, 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 Grandpa. But anyway, I just want to say sometimes it's easier for me to say no to Cheryl, or I can't do something to Cheryl, than it is to you, because
So sorry, Cheryl.
because your heart just, I can't say no. People can't say no to you, and we just want to thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Also, there was a video that was put together, and we went back and forth. I went back and forth. I talked to a bunch of people. I even talked to you this morning, how you would like to handle this, and I understand. I understand. So the video is on here. It's a drive, and there's also all the pictures from the week are on there as well. So you can watch it at home and enjoy and cry all you want there.
Thank you. And like I said, you guys, if he weren't leading, I couldn't do any of this. It's like he keeps me going when, there's just a lot to do, and I'm so grateful for his leading. I have to tell you, this week was hard not having Tom here and I don't know why it was so hard this year, but to go home with some of the exciting things that happened and some of the hard things that happened, I'd have him to go home and talk to. And it was like, I just missed him this week. But so grateful that we have a faithful God, and that's one of my God sightings, is I know where he is, and I know he's good, and I want to make sure that each one of you know that if something would happen today, you know where you would be going. So thank you so much.
God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, he's there for us. God is a father who loves us, a friend when we need him. Our God is a friend we can trust. God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, he's there for us. God is a father who loves us, a friend when we need him. Our God is a friend we can trust. Our God is a friend we can trust. Our God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend we can trust. We've all been let down. We've all had a storm. Everybody's had some hard times. If you're hurting now, if the thunder's loud, and need a friend who sticks by your side. You got a friend who'll always be with you, calm in the winds and the rain. We've all been let down, we've all had a storm, but only one friend is the way. God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, he's there for us. God is a father who loves us, a friend when we need him. Our God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend we can trust. God is a 'cause we can trust him. God is a friend we can trust. God gives us peace in the trouble we struggle, he's there for us. God is a father who loves us, a friend when we need him. Our God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend we can trust. God is a friend. God is a friend we can trust. Lift your hands 'cause we can trust him. God is a friend we can trust. Lift your hands 'cause we can trust him. God is a friend we can trust.
I'm sorry, I forgot about our prize drawing. We have a grand prize drawing. We told the kids to put their name in, and then I forgot. So let's see, who can come up and help me draw? Would you come up? Mercy, come on up, Mercy. We have our little friend that was our little mascot this week. There you go. So thanks for coming, everybody. Thank you for all of your support, and just thank you.